Now I want to bring in New Jersey Assemblyman Brian Bergen, who attended a DHS briefing on these drone sightings. Also with us, Mike Fraietta, an FAA drone pilot. Thank you both for being here with us. Assemblyman, you walked out of a Department of Homeland Security briefing about these drone sightings. So what did they tell you? Did they have any real answers?
No, at the time, they didn't have any answers. It was extremely frustrating. And, you know, now we got other politicians and officials in the government trying to tell us that these aren't what we're seeing, or like it's contributable to a 2023 rule change. And come on, you guys would have tons of people on right now saying that, oh, hey, I'm flying all these drones at night. Don't worry. But you don't, because that's not exactly what's happening. And the government doesn't know, and they refuse to give us any answers.
But how do you know that? How do you know that isn't what's happening? I know that you're hearing frustration and concern from your constituents, but do you have evidence that they are something nefarious and not what the government is saying is something not to worry about?
No, I don't have any evidence of that. But I mean, how many people do you have calling in MSNBC saying, hey, I was flying 5 6-foot drones last night over Denville. Don't worry about it. It's not happening. People, you would think by now, with the amount of news coverage that are, people would come out and say that they're doing these types of things. And by the way, you know, these are large drones. The state police helicopter flew over a 6-foot drone. I mean, this is crazy stuff. This is not, you know, very easily available stuff. This isn't off-the-shelf stuff that you buy at Best Buy. I mean, these are legitimate aircraft. It's very, very concerning. And, you know, just reported today, there was an airport in Ohio that had to shut down, an airport up in Nuremberg that had to shut down for a period of time because of drones in their airspace. I mean, this is legitimate stuff that's happening, and they're not really giving it enough attention.
We don't have enough answers. You're right about that. And Mike, you heard Senator Chuck Schumer in Maya's piece talk about how you shouldn't have to shake an 8-ball to get answers. So again, it's not just Republicans or Democrats. We're hearing it from local, state, law enforcement, as well as public officials. And because we don't have definitive answers, people are jumping to conclusions, sometimes inaccurately. I mean, we've already seen some claims debunked, like these. If you see here, these are some posts claiming to spot drones. It turned out that these were regularly scheduled aircraft flying at night. So why do you think it's reached this level of rumor, of concern? Are you surprised it's gotten to this point?
A little surprised. I mean, it's important to think of a friend or a foe of what is in the sky, right? We do drone vulnerability risk assessments for banks and companies, and we look at, like, what's up there. And most of these reports, it's kind of skyception. You know how the moon looks a little bigger at the horizon? People think these units are bigger than they are. And now the trolls have taken to the skies. The internet is imitating life. Life imitates the internet. Now people are coordinating. They're flying Chinese lanterns and putting drones into them for effect. So now we don't even know, just like you don't know what comments are real and who they're coming from, people are coordinating on group chats of doing different types of drone shows to kind of mess with the public a little bit. So there's also that as well.
Do you think there is a lack of transparency, though, from officials, or is it complicated to get the answers everybody's seeking?
Well, there's no group chat for officials, right? So say maybe it's a small team who's surveying for, hey, there's a missing nuclear warhead that we need to scan for, do some thermal. We don't want to tip our hat to the public and let them know that that's what it is. Or it's a military aircraft that we're going to be using in Ukraine or Gaza. And we don't want to tip we'll put American lives at risk if we share what that is. So I think it's a small team who's not really communicating, and nor should they be communicating with everybody. As politicians and everybody else kind of likes to say, hey, let's shoot them out of the sky, they're kind of looking for attention and clickbait themselves, right? So there's not really a necessity to share with everyone if they're doing something that's for national security or it's going to risk American lives.
Assemblyman Bergen, there has been some calls for officials to start shooting down these drones. What do you think needs to happen?
No, well, first of all, I was an attack helicopter pilot in the Army, and I've been in combat. I've seen bullets fly through the air. You shouldn't be shooting anything out of the sky over New Jersey, I could tell you that much. But what we should be doing is following one of these things to where they came from. And, you know, Mike's not wrong. As time goes on, more aircraft are up there. Personal drones are up there looking for these things. There's more aircraft flying the sky, helicopters at night, other planes. There's a lot more activity over New Jersey right now. And this is a byproduct of our government not acting fast enough. This has been going on for too long. They should have found these things, followed them, and figured out what's going on. I mean, let's just be honest. There was a New Jersey State Police helicopter hovering above what the state police said was a 6-foot drone, and they let the thing go. Instead of following it to where it went, figuring this out, ending this 2 weeks ago. Here we are. And are a lot of people seeing planes and helicopters and stuff? Of course. There's lots of that in the sky, and it is confusing to the average person. But that's not to discount the fact that there are drones up there. It is a big concern. I've seen them with my own eyes. I know what a drone looks like versus a plane or a helicopter, and it is a real reality here in New Jersey.
Mike, your thoughts on the idea of just shooting down, people starting to fire at
Do
these
not
drones?
shoot them down, please do not. These are, it's a federal offense, right, to shoot aircraft out of the sky, and it's also personal property. And this is where we really need to start thinking about our own water supply, our electrical grids, things. We're seeing burglaries all over. They're using drones to case out houses and then during the robbery, following them, see if the police are coming. So they are threats in the sky, and there's no clear jurisdiction over who has that. Let's say, it's over a stadium. Is it the stadium? Is it the local police? Is it federal police? Is it FAA? We don't have this at all. This is something that we need to look at immediately as a threat. I don't think these are a threat at all, what's happening. But long term, this is something that we really need to prepare for as there's more drones in the sky. Because guess what? Amazon's delivering in Phoenix right now. Walmart's delivering in Arkansas. We love getting our stuff. We need pills fast. We need defibrillators fast. There's so many great uses of drones that we're all going to love. So get ready, because it's going to become white noise in the sky.
So when you talk about regulation, though, we heard from Secretary Mayorkas that there had been some kind of a policy change now allowing drones to fly at night. Given what is going on, should that be rolled back, or are there other regulations that you think could help kind of sort all this out?
I don't know if you're going to be able to stop it, right? Because I don't believe in regulation's going to stop it. If you want to 3D print a drone, put some AI into it and fly it at night, no one's going to be able to detect it or stop it, right? So you can try to play whack-a-mole with these regulations, but ultimately, again, it's going to prevail where we're seeing all these cool uses that we want these drones in our lives, that we're going to say, hey, that 100 to 400, that drone zone where we're going to see them flying by all day and all night, delivering our stuff and doing things for us, that you want to start regulating. Now you're regulating invasion.
So what do you tell people then who are looking up and they're like, is that a drone? Is that an aircraft? Is there an easy way to tell a difference? I
mean, 99% of the time that I've seen credible people with large followings sharing blatant pictures of airplanes and saying it's a drone, right? There is things like the sky scanners or Flight 24s where you can kind of see what's in the sky if it's federally regulated right now. So if there's red and green lights, an alien's probably not going to follow FAA rules when they're coming to visit us, or Iranian motherships, right? So it's also, think about that skyception too, right? It looks bigger when it's closer, and so I think people really need to think about that. It's most likely an aircraft.
Well, I really appreciate the conversation, both of you. Thank you so much. New Jersey Assemblyman Brian Bergen and Mike Fraietta agreed that it is an issue we all want to get to the bottom of. Thanks so much.